Hey guys, welcome back to UK Diver. If it's your first time here, then where have you been? You've been missing out. You don't want to miss out anymore, so hit that subscribe button and notification bell now to make sure you don't miss out for anything for the future. But yes, welcome to this, which is part 2 maybe of the Horizon sort of series, and this is the one where I'm talking about the training. So yes guys, I've done the training. And guess what? I passed. Yay, go me. And it was pretty brutal, and I'll get on to that in a second. But first, I want to give a quick shout out to my new website if you've not checked it out, www.ukdiver.co.uk, as if it would be anything else. You've got hints, you've got tips, you've got reviews, you've got loads of good stuff on there, and I'm just getting started. New merch will be going up there soon, and also a chance to join me through my Patreon site, where you can come to our virtual club night and maybe even more. So anyway, do check out the website, do get signed up to the mailing list to make sure you don't miss out on any of the cool stuff that I'm doing over there either. So anyway, on to the training guys. This is the first SSI course that I've actually done. I've done PADI before, and I've done obviously lots and lots of BSAC courses, but this was the first SSI course, and this is the first one that I've done sort of in an e-learning kind of environment. And I've got to say, I was pretty impressed by it. I thought the course was pretty solid. The Horizon course is quite technical. You soon get into lots of algebra, you know, 1 banana plus an orange equals, you know, 3 apples and a jelly baby kind of thing going on. But there's lots and lots of sort of technical stuff to know. VO2 maxes, learning to calculate your flow rates so that it can calculate your PPO2 and work out your MOD backwards and all this kind of stuff. It goes on and on and on. So it does get quite intense, but there's nothing that's not well explained, and if you sit down, take the time and actually give yourself the proper time to do it, it's more than doable. Now, would I say that somebody, you know, who's just come off their open water is probably going to be able to do that? No, I don't think that they could, especially not the Deco version anyway, because when you get into the dive planning, it's probably not simple enough to learn how to do proper dive planning from scratch, I would say, in my opinion. But if you've done any sort of technical diving before, it's going to be pretty familiar to it. It's just a few more concepts to learn, so more than doable. So yeah, I was pretty impressed overall with the e-learning. The only one weird thing I would say is kind of, you start off very basic and then it gets harder and harder and harder and more and more and more technical. Then kind of randomly at the end, there's this kind of bit of a module that comes in that starts talking about, oh yeah, when you go and buy the rest of your dive stuff after you bought your Horizon, buy some quality stuff that's robust and it's going to last a long time. And I'm like, Jesus Christ, have we just gone back to ocean diving? Because that's the kind of stuff I tell them, you know, buy quality gear, don't buy crap. So that was just a little bit weird, and it's sort of a bit of a brain fry when you've got yourself into this very technical kind of thing, you know, then you're going right back to basics. So that is the only thing I would have say it was a bit weird about it. But again, not too bad. So if I was to give it a rating out of 5, I'd probably give it 4 out of 5 stars. So the practical sessions, guys. I went down a couple of weekends ago and did that over 3 days, with a company called Dive Master Scuba that is owned by a chap called Adam Wood, who was my instructor for the weekend, and I could not have asked for somebody more knowledgeable. He helped design the thing, he did a lot of the testing for the thing and product testing for the thing as well, and he literally knows it inside out. I think he pretty much knows every unit or every type of CCR or SCR inside out, to be honest with you. The guy is super experienced, and I learnt an absolute bag loads from him, not just about the Horizon. So thank you very much, Adam, for being patient, and thank you for dragging me around when I needed to, which we shall get onto shortly. So the course, the practical course, is just like every other scuba diving course you've ever done. There was a theory element that we'd done on the e-learning. When I got down there, we down to the dive centre that he's based in Nottingham. Again, link down below. When we got down there, we spent the first half of the morning just reviewing some of the theory that we'd done so that Adam could check that we'd actually, most of it had gone in, which I'm pleased to report it did. The second half of the morning was pretty much how to build the unit, how to pack the scrubbers so you don't do anything daft and kill yourself that way. Also look at the major components within the unit and check and be able to do visual checks and physical sort of operational checks of all the working components. So once we'd done messing about with the units and was actually gone built. It was a quick change and into the pool for the afternoon. And this is where it started going wrong for me, because I knew from the tri-dive that your buoyancy was going to be a challenge in this unit from moving from open circuit. I didn't realise how much of a challenge. So there was two of us on the course, a chap called Ollie, and he was doing a crossover from another unit. So he's got a full CCR and he, for some reason, wants this, maybe for travel or whatever. We didn't really get into it, to be honest with you. But he'd been diving CCR, so his buoyancy was perfect. Obviously Adam's buoyancy and trim, perfect. Me, every time we did a skill, I'd float off like some bloody wine cork in a whirlpool kind of thing. I don't know what was going on. And the first couple of times you kind of think, oh, that's a bit funny. The kind of 13th, 14th time, I'm starting to get a little bit frustrated, I've got to be honest with you. I just couldn't get my head around it. I didn't know what I was doing wrong. And you find yourself doing the things that you do to control your buoyancy in open circuit. So I'm like breathing out and holding the breath out, trying to sink. But of course that doesn't work, because in a closed loop system, the volume's the same. So, you know, when I was doing little things like, you know, when you're taking the mouthpiece out of your mouth, you know, to either do a, you know, clear the hose, or you're bailing out, or whatever that is, you know, it's natural to take a big breath. And then you do that, but of course then the unit fills up, so suddenly you've got a lung full of air, the unit's filled the loop up again because you've suddenly took it off, so you know the pressure drops, and so it fills itself back up. So suddenly then, you know, you're floating off again. So it was incredibly frustrating. I found it really hard going, and that sort of continued on really into the open water days. So once we'd done the pool sessions, you know, it was dry off, get the unit prepped again ready for the next day, and off we went. Stony Cove on the Saturday, again, just like in any other course, guys, you know, it's just a repeat of the skills again in open water. A few extra skills. You had to launch a DSMB, we had to go and do a decompression dive and actually rack up some deco so that we could do a dive plan and actually use the deco gas. But again, it's just repeating those skills that you've done in the pool in open water. And again, my buoyancy was an absolute nightmare. Obviously by the Sunday, things were getting slightly better. I was getting a bit of a grip with it, but it was just frustrating. I felt very much like a beginner again, and that boiled my arse, I've got to be honest with you. Not a patient man, I may have mentioned that before. So I get frustrated with myself when I can't master something quickly, and this is going to take a bit of time, guys. I've got to be honest, this is going to take a bit of time. One thing I will say about the course, and probably the same with all rebreathers, to be honest with you, there is a fair bit more to do with aftercare once you get out, because it is not, weirdly, rinse in fresh water and dry. It's rinse in fresh water and then sterilised to within an inch of its life, and then dry as well. So there was a little bit more to do with, you know, making sure that all this goo that comes out of you, which is surprisingly a lot. I was quite surprised how much goo comes out of you into your breathing loop. It's quite disgusting. Yeah, if you see me at the end of a dive, I'll show you. It's gross. But you do have to sort of clean that so these, you know, bugs and that don't obviously grow in your unit, because that's not very good. So that was one thing that was different. There's a fair bit more aftercare with these things than there is with open circuits. So that's one thing you might want to know about. So. But yeah, apart from that, I passed anyway. I've got the card, it's done, and now I can go and have a play on my own without an instructor looking at me, and I can sort of get used to it, because like I say, it's just a lot. You know, there's the big loop, the big thing in your face, you haven't quite got the visibility, you're a little bit restricted here, you've got cylinders wedged under your armpits here, so you can't do anything, you can't get to any, it's just a bit of a faff. And I know I'll get over it, because when I went from my singles to my twins, I hated them for 3 months as well. Nothing felt right. Every time I went over in the water, the bloody things were trying to tip me over, and you know, nothing was quite where it was. It was heavy. It's just a faff. You know, a few years later, like I say, I nearly cried when I sold them because I loved them. I'm hoping this is going to get the same. So it was very frustrating. However, nice little story to end on. On the Sunday, it was just me and Adam, the instructor. The other guy was only doing one day, and we'd done some skills, and you know, I was not a happy bunny, I'll be honest with you, because it did not gone as well as I would have hoped. Okay, but anyway, we were skimming along one of the cliff edges in Stony, and anybody who knows Stony at all will know that they have got some magnificent pike. in there, these really long, beautiful predatory fish. And we were finning along, and one sort of was coming from a 90-degree angle down sort of this way from us, and it stopped. Okay, it stopped and it turned and it swam up to us because it was checking us out. And it was 20 or 30 seconds max, this interaction, where I got within a couple of inches of its face, and it is properly checking us out. You know, no idea what we are, not making all the hideous bubbles. You know, there's the odd blip where it comes from the back of the unit, but that was all. And right there, right then, I knew that's why I bought this unit. Right there, this is why I bought this unit. This is what I want. This is what it can let me do. And that made everything better. Everything was fantastic after that. So, you know what I mean? So yeah, it's gonna give me what I want. It really is. So I'll get over it. I will conquer it. I will learn, and I will learn to deal with this, and I will become comfortable with it. So in that vein, I am off down to Stony Cove again with my friend Matt Rivet, who is a side mount Sidewinder JJ, I think it's JJ or Kiss, and they'll shoot me whichever one I've got wrong. But it's a rebreather that bolts over a side mount set. So he's an expert. He's been doing it for years. So I'm hoping he can give me some hints and tips on how to get the bloody thing comfortable and get me bungees right and clips and all that kind of jazz anyway. So if you're nipping about Stony yourself on Saturday, you'll see my car. I've got my massive erection now next to it. I'll be bringing that with me as well, which is a huge flag. If you're wondering what I'm talking about, then do follow me on the socials, Facebook and Instagram. The links have been in the video somewhere, but there's links down below anywhere else, and you can go back and see what my wife calls my massive erection, yeah, which I thought was a bit cheeky, but anyway, check it out. You'll see the flag next to the car, so do come and say hi. It'd be great to have a chat. But other than that, guys, I will catch you as always on the next one.